Is the US Special Envoy for Ukraine preparing a visit to Belarus? What would be its purpose and what would be the consequences of it? Is Belarus ready to join a potential Russian attack against NATO? And to talk about this and more, we're joined by Alina Koushyk, Editor-in-Chief of Belsat TV. Good evening.
Good evening.
So Keith Kellogg is allegedly planning his trip to Belarus to revive peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Now, would this be a smart move by the Trump administration?
This is definitely a smart move to Alexander Lukashenko. I don't believe that this is so smart move from American administration. I believe they can play smarter. But for Alexander Lukashenko, this is the issue, to be or not to be, and rather to be. Please remember that dictator Lukashenko is unshakable for 5 years after 2020 election, when he keep his power by force. And the last visit of high-level American official, it was Marco Rubio in 2020, before stolen presidential elections. Till that time, Lukashenko was in isolation from the main partners, from the main democratic states. But now, United States are stuck with negotiations with Ukraine and with Russia, with Vladimir Putin. They try to figure out what can they do, how can they move. For Alexander Lukashenko, this could be a break of this isolation. But from the other hand, we remember 10 years ago, also peace talks on Ukraine, not that successful. But yes, Lukashenko, I believe 10 years ago in 2015, was the one politician who won this event, which was organized in Minsk, where Francois Hollande, then Angela Merkel came to Minsk, and he was the host. So that's why we believe that this is not such a smart move for US administration, but rather this shows that they are playing on the cards Putin is giving them.
Right, because we already see these attempts to normalize relations between Washington and Russia. So, in your opinion, is Washington looking for a new opening in relations with Minsk as well?
I think, yes, this is a smaller topic, but still it's on the plate. For Belarusian democratic forces and for Belarusian people, there is an important issue of political prisoners. We know that for Lukashenko, big goal is to somehow normalize relations with United States. That's why Washington can ask for really more. What more? Release of all political prisoners. But please remember that Lukashenko is not a reliable partner. Svetlana Tikhanovskaya 2 days ago warned Washington that they cannot that Lukashenko will not keep his word with the greatest probability. That's why first he needs to release political prisoners or did something they would agree, and then can be another step. I mean, peace talks or something else.
So what would it mean for the? So what would it mean for the Belarusian opposition? What would it mean for you, for people who cannot freely go back to Belarus, if Lukashenko was indeed to be treated as a legitimate partner in potential peace talks?
I don't believe that Lukashenko will be treated as a legitimate partner. He will not. And American US administration, they say that they will not, but he's in power. That's why there are some contacts. And we remember that in February of this year, Chris Smith, Deputy Secretary of Department of State, had been to Belarus, and he brought three political prisoners to Vilnius. So this was a first sign of so-called warming between Minsk and Washington. But now we see the next step. But what is important that neither White House, neither Department of State, or neither Embassy of Belarus in Washington. They are not saying anything about this visit, but I believe they will not. This visit is prepared, and we have heard that Kellogg himself said to some journalists that this visit is prepared. So we'll see what it goes. But for the Belarusian democratic forces and for people of Belarus, this might be a sign and a kind of small window of opportunity. That's why I believe that it would be good if Belarusian democratic forces would be also on the table together with United States, Belarusian dictator, and free Belarusian people who demand democracy in the country.
So let's hear it now from undemocratic forces in Belarus. I will quote Alexander Lukashenko. I want you to know that in these difficult times we are with you. We have declared this openly that we side with Russia, the only country in the world to do so. Belarus has always sided with Russia and will always do. You can count on us. Naturally, we tread carefully and cautiously. We do not draw our sabers recklessly like Cossacks. But if we do draw them, we will fight alongside the Russian people to defend our common fatherland. There is no other way. We have only one fatherland, and there will never be another. So I thank you for all the good you do for Belarus, for our unity, for the integration of our states. Now, this was said to Alexander Bystrykin, a very close aide of Vladimir Putin. So, has Bystrykin arrived in Minsk to hear exactly this statement that in case of an attack from on NATO territory, from the territory of Belarus, Belarusian army will join the Russian aggression?
Lukashenko doesn't have a lot of choice in this matter, but of course he's taken into consideration opinion of Belarusians. Please remember that more or less 80% of Belarusians are against of participation of Belarusian army in open conflict. Yes, we do know that now Belarusians are part of the conflict. They're given, Lukashenko is giving territory to Russian army. He has some supplies from Belarus. He is allowing to attack on Kiev. And of course, due to strategic logistics, Belarus is important and key important partner for Moscow. But since we have this war for a couple of years and Belarusian army do not join this till now, I don't believe they will do it even now. But from the other side, we know that Russia is preparing for the bigger war, the war with NATO, but I don't feel like it is the close perspective. But please remember also that in September, we are waiting for the new military exercises, this Zapad 2025. And it was already announced by Belarusian Minister of Defense that these military exercises will be scaled down and they will not take a place near the border with NATO.
And yet, Svetlana Tsikhanovskaya reminds us that the last time there were joint drills of Russian and Belarusian army, it ended up with the invasion of Ukraine. Alina Koushyk, editor-in-chief of Belsat TV, was our guest this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for much more here on TVP World.